Is the shadow of a trade lurking over Soldier Field like a dark cloud refusing to pass? What if the most electric player in our offense, the embodiment of Chicago's grit and determination, suddenly dons the colors of our division rivals? Rumors. Air swirling around Hollis Hall like a blizzard in December, whispering of impending moves and seismic shifts within our team that could rewrite the NFC North hierarchy. Insider intel hints at restless nights for the front office as visions of Cole Kmet trading his navy and orange for the aqua and coral of the Miami Dolphins threatens to tear apart the very fabric of Bears fandom. That's right, folk scenes of betrayal are emerging amid the usual noise of off-season speculation, turning Bears fans into anxious draft day conspiracy theorists, spiraling into a barrage of wild trade proposals and shattered hopes. But let's set the record straight. Cole Kmet is not just any tight end. He's a cornerstone of this franchise and a player who has finally come into his own after last season's breakout. Kmet, coming off a career year filled with more catches, yards, and touchdowns than ever before, isn't going anywhere any more than the air we breathe in this fair city of Chicago. The thought of losing him to another franchise, especially one that gleefully roams within our division, strikes at the heart of what it means to be a Bear. Can you imagine? Can you fathom the possibilities if the Dolphins decide to pull that trigger, flipping Kmet for scraps while they bolster their roster like it's free agency every day at the beach? It strikes anxiety into the hearts of fans familiar with the gut-wrenching history of the Bears' playoff heartbreaks, bitter rivalries, the agony of nearly being there only to fall short. Remember the echoes of the past with memories suffused. In team colors for a city that bleeds love for its Bears, it's more than a sport. It's a lifestyle, a culture, an identity forged through years of blood, sweat, and tears. We all remember the pain of the '06 Super Bowl loss and the heartbreak in '18. We feel every loss deeply as the spirits of legendary players like Ehrlicher and Peyton haunt our dreams, urging us forward, imploring us to right the ship. But what if the Bears pull the ultimate shocker, standing firm in their philosophy and shattering conventional wisdom by rejecting trade offers, instead doubling down on Kmet's potential in a new offense that's set to run more two tight end sets? What if this strategy reinvigorates the entire locker room, sparking a chemistry that could fuel the fiercest playoff run we've seen since Hester's epic return? It's a tantalizing thought to imagine our city embracing its identity hard-nosed, gritty, and relentless. But think about this. What if they trade him? What if the front office falters during crucial decisions, creating ripples of doubt and division in the locker room, leading to fractures in a roster that finally seems ready to come together in harmony? The stakes are high. Our love for Kmet runs deep, and if the unthinkable happens, the repercussions could echo through the streets of Chicago, reverberating in the hearts of fans who crave that elusive Lombardi trophy. And this is precisely why we should hold on to hope and reject the madness of trading Kmet. Because if this deal goes through, it might just become the match that ignites the wildest Bears offseason we've ever witnessed. Prepare yourself, because as the clock ticks down and decisions loom, we are standing on the brink of a potential lightning strike that could reshape everything we know about the Chicago Bears. Listen up, Bears Nation, because it's time to rally together like we did in the cold, hard streets of Chicago when we believed 2010 could finally return our beloved franchise to glory. When that magic seemed tangible, you felt it in the air. Now, with the taste of old-school grit on our tongues and the bitter aftertaste of double doinks past lurking in our hearts, we stand at the precipice once again. But here's the truth we can't ignore. We're not just hoping. We're demanding something more. Imagine a world where the ghosts of Walter, Singletary, and Ehrlicher look down upon us and say, "Fight! Fight for my legacy." Because, let's be real, what if this season is a cruel repeat of 2018, that heartbreaking playoff loss clawing at the edges of our memories, urging us to wrestle with our fears and longings? I can smell the tension in Hollis Hall thick as the Chicago air before a thunderstorm. with locker room whispers swirling faster than a snowstorm outside Soldier Field. And that front office, you know they are on edge. It's like trying to revive an old flame. One moment everyone's talking about the bright future with our young quarterback, but in the blink of an eye, it can all shift to murmurs of doubt as rival fans ugly smirk from the corners of the bar, gloating about our fading glory days. But what if, and stay with me here, what if this is where we make that hard left turn off the highway of despair? What if we finally unleash a firestorm, burning bright enough to drown out those sneering words of the Packers and the Lions, those relentless Vikings, the weight of history heavy on our shoulders? We should be built to rise. Do you remember? The electric pulse of the '85 Bears, how they didn't just play. They sought dominance, celebrating every sack, every touchdown, every roaring tackle like it was an exclamation mark against a world that doubted us. Going back, do you feel those moments thudding against your heart like a drumbeat that keeps you awake at night? All those scars, the bitter taste of 2006's near miss, the gut punch of that 2010 NFC title game. Those bruises run deeper than we care to admit, and yet we're still drawn into the dark juxtaposition of hope and despair. We remember Hester's gliding returns igniting the stadium, electric, like something that can never be replicated, but now we have to figure out if we can spark that fire again, harness it for a team that sometimes looks lost under the bright lights, a squad trying to embrace their past, but unsure of how to box in their potential future. What if we're standing on the edge of a new era, or maybe staring down the barrel of another spiral into oblivion? Because let's face it, we know how slippery that slope can get, and how quickly it can turn from fantasy to nightmare. Have you felt the doubt creeping in like lake wind off Soldier Field in December, icy and biting? When you hear the crunch of the snow under our feet this winter, will it be the sound of a promising path ahead or the echoing footsteps of a painful retreat? Are we on the verge of answering the question of whether we're destined for greatness or gloom? So here we are again, with all that history weighing down on us. Where do we go from here? Will we break the cycle, or are we fated to drift with the ghosts of our own expectations haunting us until we find clarity or chaos? Because, my friends, this is Bears football, and nothing is ever simple. But in this crucible, maybe we'll finally discover what it means to bleed navy and orange as the stakes reach fever pitch. Will this year be the storm we weather or the waves that swallow us whole?